Of NBC's first broadcast back in 1939 at the Chicago World's Fair. Amazing. Well, today, for example, what's filming at NBC? Over on the right, stages 41 and 42. This is where season 2 of Good Girls with Christina Hendricks, Greta and Mae Whitman film. Catch Good Girls Sunday nights, 10 p.m. Also on the right, stages 43 and 44, currently used for season 4 of The Good Place with Ted Danson and Kristen Bell. The Good Place also does film on the backlot in Little Europe. That's where they're at today. Over on your right, you'll see the base camp for The Good Place, some of their production trailers. Now we do have other buildings here on the front lot in addition to sound stages. Also on the right, the Bud Westmore building, our technical building, has the paint department, plastering department, electrical shop, machine shop, sign shop. Bud Westmore, famous makeup artist who at one time worked at the studio. He, along with a lady named Millicent Patrick, created the look for the creature from the Black Lagoon, our classic 1954 film starring Julie Adams. You see the creature up on your screens. On the left, we have the bungalows. The bungalows used to be dressing rooms. Now they are production offices, like for Illumination, which on June 7th brings us The Secret Life of Pets 2, wonderful family film. Right now, look on the left, very famous bungalow, 5195. Many years ago used by the great director Alfred Hitchcock, the master of suspense, who directed Psycho, among many, many other great films. Currently 5195, home to the legendary De Laurentiis Company, headed by Martha De Laurentiis. Also on the left, a newer building where you find stages 22 and 23, where recently America's Got Talent was working, getting ready for their new season, premiering May 28th. Stage 22, also used by Will and Grace, with Deborah Messing, Errol McCormack, Megan Mullally, and Sean Hayes. Another show that's used both 22 and 23, NBC and Jennifer Lopez's World of Dance. Third season finale on this Sunday night, 8 p.m. Don't miss it, it's a great show. But right now we've crossed from the front lot to the back lot, where the world is literally just around the corner. On your left, the Metropolitan sets. The buildings are facades, the front and side of the building. A facade, the height of the facade, over 50 feet tall, and it gives the camera the sensation the buildings are just as tall as the ones in New York or London or any other major metropolitan city in the world. In the Metro set's a popular spot to film at on New York Street, called that because the street has appeared as a street in the great city of New York for many, many productions. Our popular NBC shows, American Ninja Warrior and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, have used New York Street for filming. Now we are going to take you deeper into the Metro sets, but I want to point out where our monster mural is, created by artist Tristan Eaton, one of the most prominent street artists working today. Okay, as we turn to go into Metro, look behind you on the right at the side of the building where you see all the color. That's the monster mural. Tristan Eaton used 800 cans of spray paint, and there are 54 different colors in the mural, honoring the great horror characters of Universal Studios: Dracula, the Bride of Frankenstein, the Frankenstein monster, the creature from the Black Lagoon, and the Wolfman. After we make the turn, we will be in the Metropolitan sets. If you look to your right, on the other side of the buildings, that's where New York Street is located. It runs parallel to the street we're currently on. When I think of New York, I think of our host Jimmy Fallon, who originates The Tonight Show, starring Jimmy Fallon from New York City. I'm going to bring Jimmy in live via satellite. He'll tell us a little more about what it's like to actually work in New York.
Hey everyone, welcome to New York. I got my start right here in New York on Saturday Night Live. This is actually my old neighborhood. What's got mugged over there? An old woman, tough lady. This is my favorite hot dog guy. Hey buddy, how's it going? Remember me? No. Just like old times. Gotta love New York City. I'm walking here. It's cool, guys. I was just walking there. So it's not exactly New York, but a lot of times when you see New York in the movies, it was shot right here on the Universal Metro sets. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Even if you make it here on the Universal lot.
Oh, thank you, Jimmy. You know, the recording artist Pink shot her recent music video to the song Walk Me Home on New York Street in the Metro set area. When we were building the Metro sets, we wanted to get the most film use out of this location, and we worked with a consulting team headed by the great director Steven Spielberg. Mr. Spielberg began his career right here at Universal Studios. Over the years, we've had the great privilege to work with high-profile directors from Alfred Hitchcock to Steven Spielberg, from Angelina Jolie to Jordan Peele, and another director who's an Academy Award winner we love working with, Peter Jackson, who directed our King Kong. Well, get ready, folks. It's our turn to have a great adventure. We are approaching Skull Island. Please hold on to all your personal belongings. Please remain seated at all times as we approach Skull Island and while we are inside. Here now the director of King Kong, Mr. Peter Jackson.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a filmmaker. I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up an adventure. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times.
So have your glasses ready, hold on to your belongings, and please remain seated at all times. Thank you for doing that. And now, welcome to Skull Island.
Skull Island.
We have other spectacular things to show you now. on the backlot portion of our studio tour. On the backlot, we have areas that look very different from each other that we use for production. Right here, great example. On your left, the metro sets. It really does look like a city. On the right, a very remote location. Skull Island, the bridge, all the foliage around the bridge helps give it a very remote look. That bridge has been used for classic TV shows like The $6 Million Man, starring Lee Majors, and The Bionic Woman with Lindsay Wagner. Say, look at the tram car, foot of the bridge. Obviously, King Kong stepped on it, and our tram doing a great job getting us front lot to back lot. We have our fine driver Dixie, who's taken our vehicle up hills, down hills. Whenever we use a vehicle on screen, that vehicle is called a picture car. Okay, folks, get your cameras out. We're going to show you some of our famous picture cars. Welcome to Universal's Picture Cars Row. You're going to recognize Kit from Knight Rider. Magnum PI's red Ferrari is on display. Several vehicles will take you back to the future. Wonderful film trilogy with Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. We can go back to the Stone Age. We have vehicles on display from our movie The Flintstones, starring John Goodman and the late great Elizabeth Taylor. Be sure to get photos of the Fast and the Furious film franchise picture cars. And don't forget, opening in theaters August 2nd, The Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, starring Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham. It's going to be a great film. Usually the picture cars have engines in them because the vehicles will be driven, but once in a while you're going to have an engineless picture car so that the shell of the vehicle could be lifted up and moved easily from set to set. For example, you might have an engineless picture car sitting against a curb on a road. As we make our way down this particular road, we are approaching the jungle islands of Costa Rica. I know that you know what that means.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Many of the vehicles, set pieces around us, used in Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park films. Remember, dinosaurs are extinct. We don't need to worry anymore about dinosaurs. I'm going to check the road out up ahead. Little bit of fog in the area, otherwise looks good. On the left, the mobile lab from our movie The Lost World, Jurassic Park, starring Academy Award winner Julianne Moore. It is really a nice quiet morning here in the jungle islands of Costa Rica. Oh yes, it is. Surprise. Notice how dense it is in the jungle islands with the trees, the plants, the bushes. Look over on the left. You never know what might pop out of a bush or fall out of a tree. But don't worry, because of a couple things, we are able to travel great distances in a short amount of time, number one, and the weather can change rapidly. Right now, we're headed to Old Mexico. Please remain seated as we make our turn. Thank you for doing that. Old Mexico, where scenes for the movie Three Amigos film, starring Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, Martin Short. If you look over here on your left, you notice how the terrain has become a desert region with the cacti. On the Today Show this morning, the weather forecast for Old Mexico. Partly cloudy, mild. I think they got that forecast correct. But our weather does change fast back here. Oh yes, the weather on the backlot can change just like that. So be prepared for anything while we are here on the back lot. Right now, let's enjoy some thunder. You hear that? Okay, I see lightning flashing on the left also. We have a big storm rolling in. Now we know we have thunder. We know we have lightning. Now we know we even have heavy rain. Look at the rain come down. Oh, lightning just knocked out all the screens. Well, let's just watch the rain come down. It is coming down pretty heavy, pretty steady, but I think the rain is manageable. We are going to be just fine. Maybe not. I just heard a low rumbling sound. That would indicate a flash flood headed straight for the tram. Well, take cover, folks. Here it comes. Left side. Flash flood. Look out. Is a special effect. The recycled water makes its way down the hill and then makes its way up again. The rain created by sprinkler system. We shoot the water straight up and then it falls back down naturally, just like Mother Nature's rain. We're going to be swept out of Old Mexico, but before we leave the Old Mexico area, look around this section. You might recognize this part of Old Mexico from the movie Nacho Libre, starring Jack Black. Some of that movie filmed right here. And our tour now approximately at the halfway mark. Just want to remind everyone, please remain seated during the entire tour. Studio is private property, and if at any time during the tour you drop your phone or you just cannot wait to use the restroom, pull the red cord to get my attention. I will be back to assist you, but do remain seated on the tram. Thank you so much for doing that if the need arises. Oh, look at this. We got swept out of Old Mexico into the Old West. Welcome to 6 Points, Texas. All the gray Western stars have moseyed up and down these streets. Just put dirt over the cement. Get the horses out. Put the wagon wheels, barrels on the street, and there you are back in the days of the Wild Wild West. Opening in theaters July 26th, Quentin Tarantino's 9th film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. Last year, that movie filmed here in 6 Points. If you look straight ahead, there's a lake. On the other side of the lake, stage 27, where recently the second season of NBC's Arts and Crafts competition series, Making It, hosted by Amy Poehler and Nick Offerman film. The second season will premiere later this summer. Now the lake could be used for production. We're going to sail over the lake, swing by Little Europe, famous for where we filmed the monster movies, like Dracula with Bela Lugosi and Frankenstein starring Boris Karloff. Little Europe also used by The Good Place with Ted Danson and Kristen Bell.
You, Eleanor Shellstrom, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, come on. I have never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here.
Hey, Universal Studios fans, I'm Cameron Matheson.
And I'm Debbie Matnoblis from the Emmy-nominated television show Home and Family.
Join us as we go behind the scenes with your favorite actors, musicians, and celebrity chefs.
Plus amazing DIYs, fun fashions, and so much more.
Make sure to watch Home and Family on Hallmark Channel every weekday.
Now, I mentioned the Home and Family house is a hot set, fully dressed, ready for filming. We are now entering stage 50. This is a hot set at Northern California subway station set. Please remain seated at all times while in stage 50, so nothing on the hot set is disturbed. Thank you so much for doing that. Notice the attention to detail that has been put into this set. Over on your right side, you have that It's not clever, nothing to worry about. This could be the big one. Stay calm. Stay seated. It's over. I could use a drink of water. Oh no, that's too much water on the right. Way too much. Was a simulated 8.3 earthquake. The effect used in movies like Beverly Hills Cop 3 starring Eddie Murphy and TV shows like Bones starring David Boreanaz. Now we were just in Northern California, subway station. We come outside, we're back in the Midwest. Over on the right, 6 Points, Texas. Also on the right, some of the great props that have been used in the western area. The wagon wheels, the barrels, the crates, a prop, anything on a set that an actor would touch or hold. It's been fun being in the Midwest, but now we're headed out east to Amity Island, small New England town, terrorized by the shark in Steven Spielberg's movie Jaws. Okay, don't panic, we caught the shark. Hang it up on the right, makes a great photo. Please remain seated at all times as we make our way across the dock. Thank you for doing that. Now we have a diver in the water, Officer George, making sure there are no more sharks. Uh-oh. Right side. Look on the right. Shark fin. We missed one. Did you catch that? They just told the diver to get out of the water. Where is he? There he is. There he is. Officer George, get out of the water. Shark headed right to you. Look out, look out. Too late. Poor Officer George. It may not be a bad idea if we pull up against the gas station. This will give us more protection. Okay, we're clearing to the other side of the gas tank. Why is it smoking under the dock? Look, the other dock is moving. The gas hose is loose. If there are sparks, there could be a fire. Oh boy. Wow, that fire is hot. Look, the fire is spreading. And it looks like we're gonna need a bigger tram. As we turn, look to your right, watch the shark. On the very first day of filming of the movie Jaws, on location on the East Coast, the mechanical shark sank to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. So the crew members started to call the movie Flaws instead of Jaws. Now we know the movie became a worldwide blockbuster hit, nominated for 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture of the Year. It did not win Best Picture, but it did win Academy Awards for Best Sound, Best Film Editing by Verna Fields, and Best Music Score by John Williams. As we loop around the lake, take a look at the sets. You also might recognize the area as Cabot Cove, Maine, the Angela Lansbury's hit TV show, Murder, She Wrote. Cabot Cabot Cove, Amity Island are right next to an average suburban neighborhood. On your left, down below as the neighborhood sits on Elm Street. The houses are practical sets. We have another great example of a practical set on the right, also a house. Here are some of the productions that filmed at the house on the right side. The area on the right, very popular for filming. You film at the house, and then you go across the street to Colonial Street, which for 8 seasons was known as Wisteria Lane on ABC's Desperate Housewives. Some of the other productions that have filmed here on Colonial Street, the movie The Burbs with Tom Hanks, the film Casper with Christina Ricci. Look at the first house on the left side. Recognize it as the sorority house from our movie Animal House. Colonial Street, just your average suburban neighborhood. A house could be a facade, the front and side of the home, nothing inside or on the back, or a house could be a practical set, built so you film indoors, outdoors. In fact, the very last home on the cul-de-sac is a practical set. It's the set for our NBC show Abby's, starring Natalie Morales. Abby's airs Thursday nights, 9:30 p.m. New episode on tonight. Abby is a former military gal that's opened up a bar in her backyard. The show is set in San Diego, but it filmed here. Okay, look to your right. Very last home on the cul-de-sac, the set for Abby's. Now, some of the scenes for Abby's filmed in the backyard with a live studio audience. Very cool. I'm wondering, in addition to the productions that I've mentioned that have filmed here on Colonial Street, that you remember the Munsters from the 1960s, starring Fred Gwynn and Yvonne Carlo. The Munsters filmed here on Colonial Street. I'm going to point out the house that was used. First off, look over here on the right-hand side, and you'll see the Gold Home. The Gold Home. On the other side of the Gold Home, there's the house with the white pillars. That was the home of the Munsters. The house looks a little different now than from when the Munsters used it. But again, for the most part, these homes here on Colonial Street are designed to fit that look of your average suburban neighborhood. Look over here on the left. On the other side of the last house, left-hand side, there's a car, a 1970 Charger. That car is Dominic Toretto's from Fast and Furious. He must be in the neighborhood. Now, we were just around your average suburban neighborhood, but we have left civilization behind us. We are currently on Wilderness Road. This is a very remote location. Look over here on the left-hand side, the wooded area. This is where scenes for the Netflix movie Bird Box, starring Sandra Bullock, filmed. Many, many years ago, we did some terrific TV westerns. Wagon Train filmed here in this part of our backlot. If we were filming an episode of Wagon Train, this road would be dirt. We would be on the wagon train, headed up to a new town. We actually are headed up to Whoville. We want to show you some of the great Academy Award nominated outdoor sets used in Ron Howard's hit film, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, starring Jim Carrey. Here is Christine Baranski as Martha May in the film, showing us how she decorated her home for the holidays in the film. Houses on the right are facades, the front and side of the home. If you ever went in the house, the indoor house sets were built inside sound stages on the front lot, and that's where we film the indoor house scenes. But now, as we turn the corner from the Villa Foos Why oh why with this neighbor they choose? I'm talking about Norman Bates, owner of the Bates Motel, in Alfred Hitchcock's classic thriller, Psycho. Norman lives in the house above the motel with his mother, very sweet woman. Hey look, just came out of the office. That's Norman Bates. What is Norman up to? Okay, the trunk of the car's open. Perhaps someone's checking out of the motel. Norman's going to be very helpful and bring out their luggage. Well, that's not luggage. Okay, let's just quietly go up the hill around the corner before he see. Oh, too late. Norman saw us. Yikes. Time to check out of the Bates Motel. Oh, that was a close one. And it certainly is a dramatic movie score for the movie Psycho by Bernard Herrmann. Well, we have more dramatic music for you. This dramatic music brings us very close to the airplane crash site set from Steven Spielberg's blockbuster movie, War of the Worlds. Now, today, a special interview with actress Zoe Saldana from such blockbusters as Avengers Endgame, Guardians of the Galaxy, Volumes 1 and 2, Avatar, and Star Trek Into Darkness. This area is also being used for a special documentary called Second Unit Blowing Up Hollywood. So that's kind of what they're working on in this area today. Now, this airplane is real. It's a real airplane, but it was not going to fly anymore. So they brought the airplane to the back lot. It was broken into pieces, and it was used for the filming of War of the Worlds. But what you see is all pretend, all make-believe, just for the movie.
Robbie, get in. Get in.
We are approximately 10 minutes from the end of the tour, and we'll be returning to the theme park shortly. Remember to pull the emergency cord if you need assistance, and remain seated at all times. Thank you so much for doing that. Look to your left. There's a beautiful waterfall pond area. That area, this local location, is called Falls Lake. Falls Lake, where Clint Eastwood filmed scenes for his hit movie Sully, starring Tom Hanks. Here's some of the footage from Sully that filmed here at Falls Lake.
Evacuate.
Now, on the right, you see a cabin used in the movie The Great Outdoors, starring John Candy and Dan Aykroyd. Behind the cabin, big blue backdrop. Below the backdrop, you fill in with water. That's how we get the lake for Falls Lake. Arriving here, I mentioned we are nearing the end of the tour, so I'm going to share some information with you now. We've had a witness from the Federal Protection Program aboard our tram. We don't know who they are, but we got a call from Agent Hobbs. He put the witness aboard our tram because the witness being chased by the international criminal Owen Shaw. Well, guess what? Owen Shaw's on the property. We have to get to a safe location. This garage up ahead, which is also a known street racer party hangout. Please remain seated at all times, and we will let you know when to put the glasses on. But not yet, not yet. All right, let's see what's in the garage. On the left, that tow truck up ahead looks like an assault vehicle. I have a little anxiety, but coming into the garage, I feel better. There's something about an engine that calms me down. But hello, who are you?
My name is Roman Pierce. Pleased to meet you. My buddy Hobbs asked us to stash you from Shaw for a while. So we brought you in our secret spot.
All right, look, guys, we're gonna keep Shaw from finding you, but to keep you safe, we need your help. We don't want the syndicate tracking us here. So put away your cameras and turn off your cell phones. One flash or one ringtone could give us away.
I need y'all to take this real serious.
Okay, pull into the next bay and we'll meet you in there.
That young lady is Letty Ortiz. She, along with Roman Pierce, are on Dominic Toretto's crew. They join forces with Agent Haas to keep us safe from Owen Shaw. Now we're going to Bay 2. Sounds like a party going on. You still do not yet need to wear the glasses. Not yet. Wow.
This is what we're doing. This is the race day after party. And what other?
Roman Pierce, FBI, don't move.
Yeah.
That's right, party's over.
Do you know how long I took to iron this shirt, man? I'm not.
You're under arrest right now.
Ladies, just back up a little bit. Got it. It's lightweight. First of all, I don't work for you.
Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who do you work for?
We don't work for nobody. Cop, I suggest you clear out of here, otherwise we can't guarantee your safety.
Guarantee my safety? I'm the one holding the gun.
Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours. Hobbs, escort this novice out.
Let's go, Cookie Puss.
You got an ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family will protect you.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. I'm in the middle of this.
See what I'm talking about?
Call you back.
Man.
It was on vibrate.
Shaw traced us. Hobbs can't hold him forever. Letty, Roman, we're up. Driver, move that vehicle.
Okay, we're gonna move.
It's about to get real interesting. My Mona Lisa's all warmed up right next door.
Roman, grab your truck. I need you and Letty ready to roll.
Now, put on those protective glasses. Remember, no cameras or cell phones. We do not want Shaw to know that we are here. Sounds like they're getting closer.
Which one of you is the witness? Speak now or you all get fried!
This is our time.
After them!
Okay, guys, it's showtime.
I got the move by the horn! Witness is mine, Letty!
How about you eat asphalt?
Don't think you're getting away! Find the...
Way to go, Letty.
Don't climb another missile shot!
Not gonna happen. Don't worry, I got it.
Roman, don't shoot! Head for the bridge! Under construction! Everybody hold on! Hit the entrance!
That was Fast and Furious. You just survived the most outrageous chase of all time. Give it up for Supercharged. And you may now take off your protective glasses.
Over time, everybody, you protect the witness and you can resume breathing.
You know it's crazy out there. You guys ready? Spell.
Now, my Mona Lisa got messed up a little bit, but it's all good. We got through it. Y'all held us down. Appreciate it.
They say the bigger the family, the stronger it is. You guys did good out there. And you're welcome to join our crew anytime.
Well, thank you, Dominic. And for over 100 years, Universal Studios has been thrilling audiences around the globe. making them laugh and cry and sit on the edge of their seats. We are nearing the end of the tour. I thank each and every one of you for joining us on the world famous Universal Studios tour. High five to everybody. Let's also acknowledge our driver Dixie. Let's give Dixie a big round of applause. She did a great job. Thank you, Dixie. So, as we make our way back to the theme park, we hope you'll visit us again soon. And we have lots of exciting new attractions in development, including Jurassic World, an all-new ride that'll open this summer, and an attraction based on Illuminations, The Secret Life of Pets, opening next year. To get the most out of your visit with us today, download the official Universal Studios Hollywood app. Get the most up-to-date park information. For example, you can confirm the park closes at 6 p.m. this evening. Park closes at 6 p.m. this evening. And on behalf of myself, Mike, your guide, our driver Dixie, all of us here at NBC Universal, I hope you've enjoyed your exclusive behind-the-scenes Hollywood experience. I will be available for questions if you have them. I'll make my way to that directory area, but just enjoy the rest of the great day here at Universal Studios Hollywood. We are the entertainment capital of